Let's play.
Hey, and welcome back to the Gaming Lately show. Competitive gaming has been around since the 1970s and has grown as a facet within the gaming industry itself ever since. Since the 1970s, competitive computer gaming has been the focus of dedicated gamers and fans who love the sport as well. In 1972, Stanford University held one of the earliest video game competitions for a game called Space War. And then in 1980, Atari upped the ante and held a large-scale competition with more than 10,000 participants in the United States. Just this past summer of 2016, in Seattle Keys Arena, 11,000 fans attended a Dota 2 event, all in person. The event itself had the highest prize pool in esports history, awarding $20.7 million. The world of esports, however, is arguably strongest in South Korea right now, where there are games being broadcast on live television and with as many viewers as 1 million viewers. In 2014, the New York Times reported on esports as a national pastime for the country, writing, quote, Ba Ye-song, 18, who stood at a computer watching his friends play out a match of League of Legends, struggled to say why he played games. Ye-song stated, playing League of Legends isn't necessarily important for friendship, he said, but it's just a big part of our world. Esports itself isn't limited by any means to the super fanatic or the niches of gaming. The number of games in the category range from Super Smash Bros. To Battlefield, to NBA 2K, to iRacing, and where we're currently watching, Halo. Halo 5 is the newest of the series, being considerably well suited for competition in gaming, a trend games like League of Legends have already taken upon to be designed specifically for competitive play. The ESL Esports organization hosting the current Halo Esports competition had its first season completed in mid-2016 and has the current season set to finish soon as well. There are so many ways to become involved, from joining spectator modes, watching live coverage online, and even on the end of game development. The possibilities are endless, and no matter your level of knowledge or experience, you too can get started right away. For more on esports and competitive gaming, I'm joined by freelance writer Jessica Paek, who also works with ESL as a contributing writer. Jessica, how are you doing?
I am great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So, obviously we're talking about esports. Is my sort of summation about esports, is that more in line with like your understanding? Did I miss out on like a big aspect that you think I should mention right away?
It's funny that you mentioned Halo because that's actually what I write for ESL. I cover the Halo, and I love it. I think it's so great. There's games like Counter-Strike and League of Legends that you have a little more rigid structures when it comes to the teams. You have your mid laners, you have your junglers, and with Halo, you don't really have that as much. You have your snipers, you have your magnums, but there's a lot more fluidity. So it's really cool to see teams get really creative when it comes to making their plays, and it can change from game to game within a matchup. So I love watching that. I think it's really, really fun.
So, of those teams that are left, are there any that you're like, are you rooting for any team? Have you covered one team that you're like, I don't know if these guys are going to win, but I mean, come on, they should be up there.
Right now, there's this team Splice, and they made it in through the last chance qualifier because the 8th-seeded team Allegiance, they disbanded after the end of the World Championship. So they made it into the World Championship through the last chance qualifier and again in this summer season. And they are currently undefeated, and they're actually tied with Optic right now, who they were the previous world champions. So It's really cool to see this team that was sort of an underdog coming in and just doing really, really well. They won their match today against Envious, rocking my Envious shirt.
Yep.
So, not to come off as biased, but there are personalities I think that you kind of grow fond of too as you watch the esport. So.
And two, just the amount of people that can watch and the ways they can watch. I think that's one of the places that esports might even have an edge on regular sporting events, in that you can watch it. You can watch it on TV, like you mentioned. TBS has hosted before. You can watch it online. What What do you think of specifically Twitch? Because Twitch has become the largest streaming service for gamers, for anyone who can stream from their computer, from their PlayStation or Xbox. I mean, just the level that that these teams have gotten to, essentially, and players have gotten to using Twitch.
Oh, I love Twitch. I think Twitch is so great. I think it really levels the playing field when it comes to new players who want to emerge on the scene. I think it's a really great, pretty cost-effective way for anybody to tune in, from wherever you are. I love that I can watch it on my phone. With like NFL games or, NHL hockey games, like you have to pay really big fees if you want to stream things from your devices through apps, but with Twitch, it's free and you can tune in whenever you want. I know this past season with Halo, they've been keeping up the streams. So even if you miss, you can't make it in at like 4 p.m. or whenever it starts, like you can watch it after the broadcast is done. And it just makes it so easy for anybody to get involved. So
the best way to close out talking about esports with you is definitely talk about the Halo Championship that's going on right now still. I already asked about what, the different teams. You're obviously repping your team. The grand finals are in Atlanta, and just for people who don't know, they're playing 5 matches, 5-match days. They have 3 matches a day, and they're all best of 7. So, can you sort of speak to like that competitive list? Because that's more. They're sort of playing more than some sports finals, like major league sports actually do play like back to back at times. Can you sort of speak to like from their point of view, like people who are, have made it this far, like what's their train of thought? How do they, react to it?
Just going to World Championships back in March, sitting there for the whole day. The day starts at 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
And whether or not you're playing, it's like, at that time you're mentally ready. You have to stay alert throughout the whole day. It's an all-day event. You're going to have multiple matchups. I think Optic, the championship team, I think they had to play back-to-back matches.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know if it's better or worse, I guess it depends on what kind of gamer you are, whether or not having a break in between is good or bad, if you just want to keep playing while you have the momentum, but you don't always get to keep your momentum going, you have to stop and start and stop and start. And, you're tired, you've been playing all season, for things like DreamHack, you're traveling also, you're in a different setting.
Yeah.
This whole season, they're playing from their homes, they're playing online, and then going from online to in person, maybe it's easier for some people, maybe it's more difficult, maybe being in that new environment gets your adrenaline going, maybe for some players it makes them uncomfortable. So, it's different. It's very, very different. And I think that, for any other sport, you have your game day. Go, you play. It's like 2.5 hours max, and then you're done,
Yeah.
More or less exactly what you're getting, unless, you're playing a baseball game that goes into 13 innings or something, but how often does that happen,
Mm-hmm.
With esports, it's like, and sometimes you sweep the other team and you get it over with in 3-4 matches, Sometimes, you don't. Sometimes there's overtimes, and sometimes you have to do a full replay, So I think it's very mentally taxing. I think it's a lot of stress, and actually, what is it taking right now? I know I talked to Optic, I talked to Lethal after the World Championship. I interviewed him, and he looks tired, and I don't blame him, And I was like, what do you want to do right now? What's as world champions, what's the first thing on the agenda? He's like, I just want to go outside, get some air, walk around.
Yeah.
I've been inside all day, and that's tough. Being in front of a computer for long hours is really tough.
Just sort of a final note, what would be sort of your advice for game developers, future game developers, current game developers who they like the esports model, they want a game that can fit into that mold, but they're not, they don't want to make another shooter, they don't want to make the average sort of deal. What would be your advice for how to make a game for competitive gamers?
I think team-based is definitely big. I don't think people tend to watch as much one-on-one type stuff. A team-based strategy game could be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
You can do an escape room or something.
Yeah, right.
if you don't want to do another team-based shooter or something like that, anything that's challenging and it forces everybody to work together. I think that's the big thing. People want to see these teams play well together, and they want to see how roster changes affect people. They want to see how setting changes affect people. Just anything that takes 4 people and puts them in a situation where they have to work together. I think is good sports.
Well, all right. I think that's as good a place to end it as any. Don't go anywhere. But that is Jessica Paek, who you can see on GameSkinny.com through her writing, as well as ESL, as we've been talking about. Jessica, thanks so much for joining us at the Gaming Lately show, and I hope you have a good one.
I'm sitting on the couch like a couch potato, playing Super Mario, Battlefield, and Halo. Got my headset on, I'm right where I belong. When I want Mountain Dew, I just yell for my mom. Play me old school, new school, even Atari.